down to brass tacks, when people are sitting around a table like this one with a map, does the political mix with the theological, or even when the conversation is strictly political, is the theological always standing right in the wings, looking over your shoulder?
Look, the theological has always been hovering above. You can't ignore it when you sit at the negotiating table. But there have been, over the years, some very practical proposals were put on the table of dealing with theology on one hand and dealing with the political on the other hand. And it's very easy today, still very easy, pretty simple, if the parties are in a goodwill mode and if they're willing to give it a shot, then it's pretty simple to divide up Jerusalem, to have the Jewish neighborhoods for the Jews and the Arab neighborhoods for the Arabs, for the Palestinians. So it's pretty clear that this is something that can be done, can be achieved. And you need to have negotiations in good faith. And unfortunately, Israelis and Palestinians can't sit alone. They need a third party to go between them, which is the Americans.
Jewish neighborhoods for Jews and Palestinian neighborhoods for the Palestinians, those neighborhoods where they are, would they be contiguous? Would they be related or connected in any realistic way to a Palestinian entity that's also self-governing?
Look, I agree with Aziz that it's very hard. As time goes by and there's no solution, then we are getting further and further away of this being able to have a contiguous territory. But there are solutions, practical solutions that can be found that still can secure contiguity in a future Palestinian state, including in East Jerusalem, having East Jerusalem as their capital.
Do you buy that, Aziz? Is there enough left that a finger of land could stick over from a Palestinian entity? You could say, this is enough East Jerusalem for us to say it's our capital. At least we won't be dying anymore.
I have a hard time believe it. I hope so, and maybe there's a small window, but I think we're getting to a point where it's hard. Not just because these neighborhoods are making it not contiguous land, but also because there are a lot of Jews now living in Palestinian neighborhoods. I mean, areas like Silwan, areas like Ras Al Amud, all these Palestinian neighborhoods are now have settlements inside them. And eventually it's going to become harder and harder to evacuate those settlers and to have Palestinian neighborhoods and Jewish neighborhoods. Slowly you don't have those distinctions anymore.
But Ofer, and I should point out that while Ofer, I'm going to stipulate, is a very thoughtful guy, it's actually the length of the satellite transmission that's making him pause for such a long time before he answers the question. He's thoughtful, but he's not that thoughtful. Ofer, with what's going on now with real estate, with people buying in neighborhoods where they wouldn't normally go if they were a member of a certain community, is there a kind of tension after a long time where people observed those lines that's making some of this more difficult than it needs to be?
Yes, but I wouldn't overstate it. I actually think that it's still possible to do two states and to have basically two capitals in the city of Jerusalem. I don't think that settlement construction dramatically changed the situation. Since 2008, American pressure has been very effective in preventing construction in what is called E1, a section of land that will really end the possibility of linking up Al-Quds, the Palestinian capital, to the West Bank. And there is a very problematic specific settlement called Har Homa, over Jabal Marnem, over which there was real disagreement between negotiators to date, but it's one specific area. I don't fully share this view that settlers who live within Arab neighborhoods are rendering such a partition impossible. There are less than 2,000, some 600 of them are there temporarily in yeshivas, and in terms of them relocating, because the Israeli government will basically order them to do so, this is very feasible. It's less than 2,000 people. We have seen that they sanctify the state, previous evacuations, the Gaza Strip. We've seen outposts being evacuated just last year. Most of them have packed their own bags and left. They cannot attack, according to their own theology, a soldier, a policeman of a state they consider holy. Not a single Israeli soldier died during the Gaza disengagement because of such attacks from settlers. It's definitely making it to some degree more difficult. It's not as if this is making it easier, but I think we are, in this sense, this is not the crucial thing that would prevent a two-state solution from happening.
We'll have more Inside Story on Al Jazeera America after another short break. Are the visions for the future of Jerusalem simply irreconcilable to some? If we take a look at what Palestinians want and what Israelis want, is a possible future that gives both enough of what they want, enough to have peace. Stay with us.